When women say they've lost their spark, it's usually not because of one big thing. It's because their energy is being drained in different places. Some obvious, some subtle, and some very sneaky. Some obvious ways that women can lose their spark are through toxic relationships, draining work environments, and overgiving into situations that are not pouring back into you. When you think about toxic relationships and all the ways that they can drain you, they're pretty obvious. You're spending time literally arguing, shrinking yourself, adopting maybe their identity and who they want you to be. You do whatever you need to do to keep the peace, which in itself is a draining task to do, to tiptoe around someone. You're basically managing someone else's emotions, which is incredibly taxing. Some energy drainers are kind of middle tier. They're not necessarily toxic, but they're also not healthy either. They're kind of like one-sided relationships, confusing relationships where the dynamics are unclear, inconsistent relationships. Relationships that aren't necessarily adding to you, but they're not exploding on you either. And then there are relationships that you wouldn't think are draining your energy because they're not doing either. They're not good or bad, they're just kind of there. We call those ambivalent relationships, but those are also hurting you because they're just kind of draining your energy for no apparent reason. They're the small talk relationships, the ones that you're not really sure about. You're just kind of like, are we even really friends? Or should I say hi? Should I not say hi? All those things are energy that your brain has to use that could be going into something else. No matter what tier of energy drainers they are, if it's a high drainer, a middle drainer, or a low drainer, over time, obviously the toxic ones are going to drain you the fastest, the middle ones are middle way, and the lower ones are just going to kind of happen over time. You just start to lose yourself because they dilute your focus. They require more energy to understand where you are in that relationship, so the energy required to gain clarity on these relationships is also draining, especially for the middle and lower tier energy drainers. Sometimes they pull you in different directions, especially for those high toxic energy drainers. That person or that relationship might be super toxic because they're not aligned with who you are and your core values. So you're always kind of scattered around and their values are pulling you one way and your values are pulling you another way. And so you're exerting a lot of energy trying to stay grounded.